You know, when someone says wealth or prosperity, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's cash, right? Money. But what if I told you there's a much deeper, a more complete kind of abundance out there? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to explore Lakshmi Mantras, these ancient sacred chants that are said to unlock prosperity in all its forms. And believe me, it goes way beyond what's in your bank account.
So, let's get right into it. You've probably seen images of the goddess Lakshmi, right? She's often shown with gold coins, beautiful lotuses, a picture of wealth. But what does that truly mean? Who is she, really? In this explainer, we're going to peel back the layers and look at the profound meaning behind this incredible goddess and the sacred sounds, the mantras, that people use to connect with her energy.
All right, so here's what we've got on tap. First, we'll get to know the goddess of abundance herself. Then, we'll unpack the power of seed sounds in mantras. We'll look at some specific mantras for different goals, talk about the actual art of chanting, and then wrap it all up by looking at what true prosperity really means. Let's do it.
Okay, so first up, who is Lakshmi? Because really, to get the mantras, you've got to understand the goddess they're all about. So let's meet the one who embodies grace, beauty, and abundance.
So in Hinduism, Lakshmi is a huge deal, a really central and beloved goddess. She's the wife of Lord Vishnu, the preserver of the universe. She's not just about wealth, though. She represents the divine feminine energy of the Supreme Being. That's why people often call her Mata, which means mother. It really speaks to her nurturing, giving spirit.
And this is where it gets really cool. Every single thing you see in a picture of Lakshmi is packed with symbolism. It's not just decoration. That lotus she sits on, it grows from muddy water but blossoms totally pure. That's a huge metaphor for spiritual growth. And her four hands, they're not just there for show. They represent the four main goals of life: duty, prosperity, desires, and ultimately liberation. Seriously, from her red sari to the elephants and the gold coins, it's all a roadmap to a balanced, abundant life.
All right, so we know who Lakshmi is. Now, let's talk about the tools people use to connect with her energy. Let's get into the power of these seed sounds and figure out what exactly is a mantra.
So, a mantra, it's way more than just a prayer. The best way to think about it is like a vibrational tool, almost like a sonic key. Each one is a specific sound frequency that's designed to focus your mind, tune out the noise, and call in a very specific divine energy. When you chant it over and over, you're creating this powerful resonance, this vibration, both inside you and in the world around you.
And at the very heart of these mantras are what's called bija, or seed mantras. These are the absolute fundamentals. They're single-syllable, primal sounds. Think of them like the primary colors of spiritual energy. Each one is like a little atom, just packed with a universe of potential. And you can combine them to create more complex, more nuanced effects.
Okay, check this out. This chart breaks it down perfectly. So you've got Shreem. That's the main seed sound for Lakshmi. It's got this beautiful lunar energy that attracts abundance. But look, you can mix it with others. Hrim brings in this powerful solar, empowering vibe. And Klim, that's all about attraction, like a magnet. You see? These aren't just random syllables. They are specific energetic ingredients you can combine to create a recipe for your intention.
So, we've got the ingredients. Now let's look at a few recipes. We're going to dive into some complete mantras and see what they're actually used for.
First up, we've got one for enlightenment and higher wisdom. This one is the perfect example of how this is about so much more than just money. This is for anyone who's looking for that inner wealth, peace, clarity, that kind of thing. This is the famous Lakshmi Gayatri mantra. The words are Om Shri Mahalakshmi cha vidmahe Vishnu Patnyai cha dhimahi Tano Lakshmi prachodayat. Om. And what it means is just beautiful. It's basically a meditation that says, let us focus on the great Lakshmi, wife of Vishnu. May she enlighten us. So when you chant this, you're literally asking for wisdom and spiritual light.
Okay, now let's get practical. This next one is for removing poverty and financial roadblocks. It's a mantra that people have traditionally used when they're facing tough times financially. To help overcome struggles, clear away debt, and just bring in some stability and good fortune.
And this one is super direct. If you look closely, you can even see some of those seed sounds we talked about. Shring, ring, cling, woven right in there. The whole thing is basically a very clear appeal to Lakshmi as the one who removes poverty, asking her to bless the person chanting with a whole lot of wealth.
It's a really focused request for help on the material plane. And finally, let's look at a real powerhouse. This is a very popular mantra for attracting general abundance and success, just inviting all of Lakshmi's blessings and grace into every part of your life.
This is the one you might hear a lot. Om Shreem Hreem Kleem Mahalakshmi Namah. And check it out, it combines 3 of those super potent seed sounds we looked at. Shreem for prosperity, Hreem for that divine energy, and Kleem for attraction. And then Nama just means I bow or salutations to. So the whole thing is a simple but wow, incredibly powerful greeting. I bow to the great goddess Mahalakshmi.
Okay, so it's one thing to know what the mantras are, but how do you actually use them? Let's get into the art of chanting, because how you do it, your discipline, and your intention, that's where the magic really happens.
So there's actually a whole art to it. First, you want to find a quiet, clean space. Get comfortable. Then, and this is key, set your intention. What are you chanting for? Be clear about it. Tradition also says certain times are extra powerful, like super early in the morning or on a full moon. And for daily practice, the classic method is to repeat a mantra 108 times, using mala beads to keep track so you can stay focused. But honestly, the most important piece of the puzzle is just to do it with focus and a real sense of devotion.
Which brings us full circle, right back to the big question. Why does all of this matter? What's the real end game here? Well, it's all about completely rethinking what it means to be truly prosperous.
See, it's not about choosing between material wealth and spiritual wealth. It's not an either-or thing. The whole point is to find a balance. Think about it. Having enough money gives you the freedom and stability to actually work on your spiritual side. And at the same time, having that inner peace and wisdom means you can enjoy your success without being a slave to it. They really work together.
And this idea is captured perfectly in the concept of Lakshmi, the 8 different forms of Lakshmi. This shows us that true prosperity is so much more than just money. It's about courage, knowledge, health, family, all of it. It's like a 360-degree view of what a truly rich life looks like.
And if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that lotus metaphor again. It is so perfect. A beautiful flower that grows from mud, but rises above it, totally pure. That's the goal. These practices teach us how to use our material life, all the messy, muddy stuff, as the very foundation to grow into something higher, something more spiritually evolved. So, as we wrap this up, I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. What does true prosperity really mean to you? Is it all about financial freedom? Is it inner peace? Or is it maybe a mix of everything? Something to chew on. Hey, if you enjoyed diving into this ancient wisdom with us, make sure you subscribe, because we've got a lot more explainers like this coming your way. Thanks for hanging out.